Hey guys, welcome to Rachel Reads. My name is Rachel. I love to read and I write Christian fiction. So today we are doing the Meet the Booktuber tag. I saw Celeste read on her channel, so I'll link that video as well as the original video. So let's go ahead and get started with the questions. So the first question is, how did you decide what genre you like to read? So growing up, a lot of times my mom would read me like the Boxcar Kid books or like Nancy Drew books. And it kind of like, I always loved the mystery and the suspense in that. So it's kind of how I got started in that. But after that, I just kind of started exploring at the library and seeing what Christian books they had to offer. So mostly by my mom, who either read to me or told me about like Christian fiction, different books like that. The next question is, what author is most like you? And it's kind of hard to find like an author that's most like you, because sometimes the author is very different from what they write. Like, you might relate to one of their characters, but I mean, I really like Nadine Brandes, as you'll see later in this video. I absolutely love her books, and she's like a great writer, and I just think it's awesome how much faith and like how many allegories and different things she puts in her book. So I would probably say Nadine Brandes for that. The next question is, if you were stranded on an island or a farm, what book would you bring to read? And assuming the Bible is a given, if not, I would obviously say the Bible. I would take the Bible with me. But if the Bible was a given and I could take another book, I would probably take Wistress by Nadine Brandes, because it's a wonderful book and it's a great allegory, and I absolutely love the story and I love the characters. And you know, thinking about it, I probably could read it over and over and I might get tired of it, but I feel like I still could read it so many times and just love the story and fall in love with all the characters again. So I would say Wistress by Nadine Brandes. Question 4 is, do you like buying books to read or because they look beautiful on your shelf? So I typically buy books to read because I read them from the library first and then I'll buy them. Now, if it's a book like a classic like Pride and Prejudice or Emma, I would probably buy them for the cover because I love the classics, of course. But for me, it's easier to read them as an ebook than like physically paying attention to the book. So I would say get it as an ebook and then just buy it for the cover. But if it's going to be like any other book besides a classic, I would say buy it for the book and not for the cover. Although some books do have like really pretty covers. Question 5 is, what book could have changed your life 10 years ago? And just the Bible, because, you know, if I think how old I was then, I would say the Bible, and just reading it for myself and seeing the stories and the different messages I was learning just to read it for myself. Question 6, if there could only be 3 books, what books would they be? And for the first book, I'm choosing Romanoff by Nadine Brandes, because it's a really good story about forgiveness and redemption, and I just love the story and the plot line and all the characters, and I just love seeing their development, especially the main character Nastia, as she develops throughout the story and just the lessons that she learns. And for the second book, I would pick A Midnight Dance by Joanna Davidson Politano, because I just love this story in this one. It's so sweet and I love the characters. Ella is so kind and she's so kind and just so sweet, and she's very loving, and I love like the mystery aspect, because Joanna Davidson Politano writes really good books that they kind of have a prose like classics, but they're able to be understood now. So I just love her books. I think they're so sweet and so wonderful. And for the third book, I don't have with me, but I'll put the cover on the screen somewhere, and I would say Dear Mr. Knightley by Catherine Ray, but Dear Mr. Knightley, because if you love Emma, you'll love it, because it's about this girl who's like trying to go to college and she meets a really famous author that she likes, and I think it's just a sweet story, and I just think the writing letters is really interesting and it's really cool, and it's fun to see that done in such an exciting way. So I would say Dear Mr. Knightley. Question 7 is, if you could write a book, what would it be about? And actually, I am currently writing a book. It is a Christian fantasy fiction about pirates and royalty, and there's a rebellion and secrets, and it's really fun. And I might share more in later videos, but in general, I like any Christian fiction, maybe fantasy or YA, anything like that. That's probably what I would write. Question 8 is, what character is most like you? So I kind of looked around on my shelf and thought of some books I read and tried to figure out what characters were similar to me. For the physical books, I'm going to start out with Nadine Brandes and her Out of Time series, especially Parvin. I just like that she stands up for what she believes and she's trying to make a difference and, you know, trying to change the world and trying to change people. I really think it's awesome what she does in the books, and just like the fact that she stands for her beliefs and she's not willing to change, but at the same time she is learning. I just think that's really cool. And to continue on that idea, we're going with Fox by Nadine Brandes, especially Emma. I love the fact that, you know, she's not going to let anyone stop her. You know, she knows the truth and she's willing to stick by the truth, not her own beliefs, because she knows what her beliefs are versus what the truth might be, and she's always staying with the truth, and that she's trying to help other people and she's trying to be kind and generous. And then for the next and last physical book for this question, I have The Crushing Depths by Danny Petrie. I love Rissy. She's so sweet, and you know, she may seem a little quiet, but she has a lot on her mind, and I think she's just an awesome character. You know, I just like her personality and how, like, she can be bold, but she's also kind, and she realizes what's going on. She's very aware of everything, and I like that. And I do have one more, and it's from A Princess of Wind and Wave by Melanie Cellier. I'll put the cover on the screen. I really like Isla because she's so curious, and you know, she's curious enough to find out what's going on, and you know, she's always interested in learning new things and trying different things, and I think it's just wonderful that she has a super curious personality. Question 9 is, how do you plan out booktube content? So since this is my first booktube video, I'm so excited to be joining. A lot of times I'll be doing different things, like maybe library hauls or, you know, TBRs occasionally, or what I've read recently, different things like that. I might do book hauls if I get a lot of books in a span of time. I also plan on doing maybe different book videos, or just kind of doing vlogs about what I'm reading and how things are going with the books. I also might do writing videos, considering that I am writing Christian fiction, especially YA Christian fiction that I would love to see more of. So that's kind of the idea going forward. Question 10 is, if you were dying, what book would you want to read to everyone on your deathbed? And I mean, assuming everyone's read the Bible, or the Bible's a given once again, I am going to cheat and say 3 books just because they're part of a series. And it is the Out of Time series by Nadine Brandes. I'll show you all the covers. This is A Time to Die, A Time to Speak, and A Time to Rise. So I think I would just read this because, you know, it's a really good story about, you know, her faith and just standing up in the future after different things happen, and how the view on religion has changed, and you can't teach certain kids, or you can teach them at a certain age, or they have to be willing. You know, that's not the whole idea of it, but I just think it's interesting how people's views on Christianity have changed by then. So I would read this just because it's such an inspiring story about, like, just trying something new and trying to make a change. So I would say the Out of Time series by Nadine Brandes. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in today's video. I'm so excited that you clicked on it. This is my first booktube channel. I'm so excited to do more content and see what's out there, and just read and tell you guys about it. I think it's going to be so fun and so interesting. I really can't wait to see what the future has. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye.